Welcome everybody to our fourth episode of our webinar series here on hospitality business. This is our most important episode. Hopefully you've seen the other three because they're great too, but this one to me is the big bang for your buck in the end because we're seeing a lot of this. Baby boomers are getting to that point where they're looking to retire, sell their bars, restaurants, brewery, distillery, right? Or they're trying to bring in other investors. So this episode is all about selling your business and succession planning. How do you make those two things happen? Well, number one, you do it with purpose. You don't do it by happenstance. Had a great client calls me and says, Joel, I want to sell my business. And I said, great. I said, that's just fantastic. How can I help you reach that retirement dream? And they said, I want to sell my business for $1.6 million. And I said, great, let's do that. Let's go make that happen. And I said, so what's your walkaway number? And they paused and they said, I don't know what you mean. And I said, well, you've heard me say this before, the tax man cometh and he's got to get his due. So what happens then? You sell your business, you get a chunk of change, and what's the first thing you have to do? Pay back the bank. Whoop, there goes a bunch of it, right? Because you probably have debt. And then there's the tax man's got his hand out. Tax man wants his pay. And by God, unless you're living in a non-U.S. friendly country, tax man's going to get his due. Okay? So you take out the debt, you take out the tax liability. That's your walking away money. How much do you need to survive or to live the lifestyle you want? This client thought 1.6 million was it. They thought they had struck gold. They had a buyer for it even. Once we walked them through the calculation, it actually left them $500,000. And they were 55 years old. At 55 years old, can you spend $500,000, stretch it out to make it last the rest of your life? I don't think so. That's a pretty tough pill to swallow. So when you're looking to sell your business, you got to start early. You got to know your numbers, got to know where you're going with it. Second thing, how do you prepare the business for the sale, right? It doesn't happen overnight. You've got to put systems in place. If you've got a business that can operate without you being there, that means you've got a business. If your business can't operate without you, that means you have a job. So let's all stop having jobs. We bought a business for a reason, or we started a business. Let's get out there and let's create the business of our dreams so you can be gone on vacation for a couple weeks at a time and your business doesn't miss a beat. There's a way to do it. We've helped a lot of people get there. There's books you can read on this on how to make it happen. There's several different authors that are great authors at this. Mike Michalowicz has one, has several very good books. You name it, there are ways to get there, and there are even people in your industry that would be more than happy to help educate you how to get there. You just have to ask people, but we're here to help too. We love helping people. The next thing is, what can keep you from closing on the sale of your business? Selling your business is not just, hey, here's a buy, sell, sign it, we're all done. You have a lot of things that are happening. Number one, are you ready financially for it? Number two, are you ready psychologically for it? It's astounding. We all know those people, or we know the stories of people who sold their business or retired, and a couple weeks later they have a heart attack and they're gone. I believe strongly that they weren't psychologically ready for what to do with themselves. They lost what their driver was in life. For so many of us, our business is what drives us. We wake up early, go to bed late because we're trying to make that business successful. To sell your business, to get into retirement, you have to find a way psychologically to drive you through the next phase in life. Is it your grandkids? Is it your children? Is it some other goal in life that you're going to create? But you've got to start preparing yourself before you get there. It doesn't happen at the flip of a switch. The second thing, liabilities. You've got to know your liabilities. What do you owe the banks? What do you owe private parties? You may not be able to sell your business because the liabilities might be too high on it. So you got to look at that and put your plan together on how to pay that down faster than just the straight amortized plan on the promissory note. Personal longevity may be another thing that keeps us from selling our business. You might be too young. Maybe You are too young, but you say, I don't care. I want out of it so I can go do my next passion. I just dealt with a client on that. Young gentleman, at the age of 29, already selling his first business because he was looking forward to his second one because he'd grown tired of the first business. Fantastic. Love it. Love to hear those things. That's the rarity. You've got to look, can you even keep your business going at your age? How much longer can you do it? Sometimes that is a prohibiting factor from your ability to sell it at the price you want because you waited too long. And the buyers all know, oh wait, they've been at it so long, we know they're burned out, we can get it on the cheap from you. Watch out for that, be prepared. Violations, liquor and gaming violations are a killer. We have watched it slow down transactions by 2, 3, 4, even 6 months. That's right, 6 months. We had a deal held up by the state government because they said, well, we can't allow the business to close, the sale to close, until we get the violations cleared up. It took them that long to get their ducks in a row. Don't let that happen to you. Make sure before you sell your business, you have someone like us review everything, that it's all on the up and up, that everything's done the right way, that you've been operating the right way, so you don't go to close and the state says you can't do that. So we got to be careful there. The last step in it, always the last step, is the right documents. Make sure you have the right documents. Are you selling it as a cash deal? Is the buyer coming in with financing? Are you going to carry a note on this personally? Or is the business going to carry the note? How do you want that structured? We can help with that. We can help you determine the best way to structure that and make that happen. Now, as a bonus for you guys who've made it all this far, and I know this is, I say it's exciting to me. You can tell I'm passionate about what we do here. It may not be as exciting to you, even though maybe you do own a bar or a hotel or a restaurant, but it is very exciting to us. So our last bonus piece is succession planning. I very rarely talk super at length about this because it's a very deep, broad topic, but I want to give you a little sample of it. When we all start our businesses, we oftentimes forget what our end goal is. Sometimes we think we know what our end goal is, but it changes. Get hyper-focused about your end goal. Is it to sell the business? Is it to transfer it to your employees? Or is it to transfer it to your family members? And make sure they're on board when you start the process. This is not a flip the switch, turn the key type situation. You have to spend time thinking about it, analyzing it, and making sure every step is right. We help clients do all of the above. Everybody's different. Every business is different from the standpoint of psychologically, are they ready to transition the business? And I ask you, are you ready to transition your business? Are your employees ready to take over the business? Are your family members really, truly ready to take over the business? I've watched over and over multiple times. Mom or dad says, yeah, our kids are ready for it. We get the kids in and we start asking them questions. And I know the kids don't give a crap about the business. They don't want to be there. And now they're adults, but it's their children. And what happens? Mom and dad sell the business to their kids at a greatly reduced price from what they could have sold it to the general public. And usually within 3 years, that business is belly up when mom and dad step out. Because the kids were expecting to have that business handed to them. They didn't have to go earn it. And so what'd that do to mom and dad? They lost their retirement because they were counting on that business to be their retirement. Don't let that happen to you. If you're going to turn the business over to your children, do it the right way. There are right ways to plan that so that you don't lose everything. The next one, selling to your employees. There are some great ways to do that, some tax advantage ways. You might have heard of employee stock ownership plans, right? Or an ESOP, which is one way to do it. Very complicated, difficult way to do it. Not good if you're a small company, but if you're a medium to big size company, a great way to do it if you're the owner. There's also what we call stock redemption plans, where we can get your employees into ownership and then slowly phase you out as an owner while using the earnings from the company to buy you out. It's a great plan. It's unbelievably successful. We've been doing it for a while. It works really well in this world, in the liquor and gaming world, but it takes planning. We've worked out the system with the Montana Department of Revenue and the Department of Justice, so we know we can do this for you. Again, to reiterate, start early, stay focused, stay on it when you're talking about succession planning. It doesn't happen overnight. We want to make sure you're protected. We want to make sure it's done the right way because it's too easy to screw up in this part of the world. Way too easy. And we've helped too many businesses go through it and then watch them later screw something up because they didn't call us. We want to make sure you're protected. It's worth protecting your family. It's worth getting it done right. Give us a call. Thank you everybody for joining us today on this Silverman Law Office webinar series. You've made it to the end. I want to give you a big kudos. It's not often that people follow through all the way to the end. They say that over 80% of people don't make it past the first chapter of a book. So because you've made it this far, we're going to give you a special offer where if you mention to our team that you watched this webinar series, we're going to give you 50% off on your initial consultation. So give us a call today. Don't hesitate. We look forward to meeting with you and helping you and your family achieve everything you hope.